Alright, YouTube, I'm back with another video. A little late, but I'm gonna make sure I get this out. So I'm gonna give out my free picks for today. Today's slate, we have the Hawks versus Hornets. We have the Knicks versus Pacers. Pacers. Heat versus Nets. Clippers versus Thunders. Wizards versus Spurs. Raptors versus Bucks. Rockets versus Pelicans. Pistons versus Mavericks. Magic versus Nuggets. Warriors versus Suns, Lakers versus Jazz, Kings versus Trailblazers. Sorry, I bent my tongue, bro. I made that 10 times harder. We have plenty of games, and I like a lot of games. And based off my research, what I like to look at, it's all there today. So without further ado, our first game we're going to look at is the Hawks versus the Charlotte Hornets. Here's the injury report. Trae Young game time decision. That's going to be huge. Dante out, Porzingis out, Eli John Ndiaye, whatever, he's a game time decision as well. And then for the Hornets, LaMelo game time. Connaughton out, Trey Mann out, Colin Sexton out, Grant Williams out. They damn near don't got no guard. It's definitely gonna be a Knuckle type night, or at least he's gonna get his shots up. Brandon Miller as well, but that's not what we put on our slip today. What we're looking at is Jalen Johnson on points. They got him going under. I got him going over. Why is that? Because I really don't know if Trae Young's gonna be there or not. And all I could do is go based off of the information that I have, and his line is at 23. Now, 23 is not a high line for Jalen Johnson. I did want to look at his points and his rebounds, but looking at his points alone is something that he can cover. All right, so here's 22 and a half, but I did my research on 23 and a half, and he covered that more times than he did not cover it. So if we look at this, he's 10 and 15 in the last 15. If we go head to head, if you go 2025, he's 13 for 24. Not the best. What's that? That's a 54% rate. But you know what we look at? We look at matchups. That's all I care about is the matchups. And he's facing a defense that is in a lower tier of the rankings as far as points allowed. So here we go. We look at Washington. Points allowed. They're the last. They're last place. Not Cleveland. Charlotte before. He did it up versus Charlotte. Pelicans are, but he had 18. Utah, they're lower, bottom 10. Sacramento, bottom 10. So he covered in almost every matchup except for this Washington game. He had 7, 7, and 7. I know I put him on my slip. I almost banned him that day. But every other team he covered. Every other time he played a team that's in the bottom 10 in points allowed versus opponents, he covers. And it's a 23 line. Now, obviously, if Trae Young isn't there, then, he gets his normal usage that he's been getting. But if Trae Young is there, his usage will go down a little bit. But if this is Trae Young's game first day back, he's still game time decision. I highly doubt they won't have him on minutes restriction. Like not Jalen Brunson. Trae Young is going to be on minutes restriction. So I'm taking the over on Jalen Johnson on 22 and a half or 23 and a half. Either or. I put 23 and a half because that's where Bet365 was at. The next game we have is the Knicks versus the Pacers. Who's out for the Knicks? Although they won the cup, they're a little banged up because they just played 2 days ago. So Josh Hart game time decision. Deuce out. He's been out. Ananobi game time decision huge. Mitchell Robinson game time decision huge. Karl Anthony Towns game time decision huge. A lot of these guys, I see them playing limited minutes. I can't see them playing too many more minutes. In Karl Anthony Towns, it says his knee, but his is a calf, and you don't want to play with that calf. That's what happened to my man's for the Pacers, Halliburton. For the Pacers, they have Ben Shepherd out, Aaron Nesmith out, Obi Toppin out, and you know what I'm saying, no Halliburton out for the season, which we knew that already. So this is pretty normal for them. But they've been playing pretty well as of recently. Even though they won only 2 out of their last 3, they won 2 out of their last 3. You feel me? The Knicks, they're on fire, 5 game win streak. And I think they'll keep it rolling, but they're also hurt. And I don't think that the Pacers are a pushover team. Now, the pick I got for today is going to be Jalen Brunson. He's the only one that starts that's not on this injury report. If Cat is out, OG Anunoby is out, Mikal Bridges is fine too. Mitchell Robinson with the offensive boards and all that, somebody's going to have to get a bucket, right? This line is at 30 and a half points. I bought this line at 30, and if you look at it, 30 line is at minus 120. I took it. They got him projected to go under, but you want to know why I took it? 15 and 9 on the over under. Hit over 50% in the last game. And I'm not taking that 31. I'm taking that 30. He covered in this, he covered here. But why did I take it? Because bottom 10 in points allowed. So Utah's bottom 10 in points allowed covered. Charlotte is, he didn't cover. Who else? Milwaukee's bottom 10 covered. Charlotte bottom 10 covered. That's pretty much it. All these other teams are like middle of the pack or top. But he covered And all of these. So although in 8 of his last 15, he covered the 30 line. And how many teams opponents did he play? He played 1 versus Utah, 2 versus Charlotte, 3 versus Milwaukee, 4 versus Charlotte again. So he hit 3 out of his last 4 games versus opponents that are in the bottom 10 of the points allowed category in the NBA. If we go 2025, he's 12 for 23, and that's about 52%. But they have his line at minus 120, and it wasn't adding up. So I like Brunson over here, especially if they have all those injuries. He has to be the one to get the bucket. You know what I'm saying? And he's a true pro. So if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him. Now the next game we have is Miami Heat versus the Brooklyn Nets. They're banged up too. Tyler Hero out, which is huge. Pele Larson out. He got hurt. He just came back. He got hurt last game. Jovic out. He just came back. He got hurt last game. Rozier, we know why he's out. For the Nets, they got Cam Thomas out. EJ Liddell out and Haywood Highsmith out, and this is perfect for me because we're looking at Michael Porter Jr. You feel me? Now I'm 1 for 2 on Michael Porter Jr. bets. The one that I did bet him to go over on, somebody had a monster game. He shot like he took his shots. He just shot like 4 for like 14 or some shit like that. Like, and they blew out Milwaukee, so it was no need for him to continue to play. I don't think he played the whole fourth quarter. So that's why it went under. But they have him projected at 20 points. I don't know why Michael Porter Jr.'s line is so low. I bought it at 25. It's at 25.5. I bought it at 25 plus points at minus 125. The last time I took his line at like 26.5 or 25.5, he crushed it. He dropped 35 points. If we look at it, he's 15-6 on the over under. His Cam Thomas is the real person that really like be chucking shots, and he's out. So who else is gonna get them shots if he has to score the ball? And guess what? Miami is in that bottom 10 in points allowed. So we're not gonna look at his 8 out of his last 15. We're gonna look at the versus bottom 10 points allowed. So Milwaukee 0 for 1, Chicago 1 for 2, or New Orleans 2 for 3, Charlotte 3 for 4, Washington 4 for 5, Indiana 5 for 6. 5 for 6 is like 83%, opposed to that 53%. So out of 5 out of his last 6 games versus opponents that are in the bottom 10 in points allowed, he covered over this line, and I got him for 25. I'm taking that, bro. I'm taking that. And my partner in crime who takes a lot of shots is out, and they're playing a banged up Heat team who, yeah, they got Jaime Jaquez, yeah, they got Norman Powell, but this fucking Nets team just beat up on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, granted, they don't have Giannis, and that's like their engine. However, that just showed me that the Nets, they are kind of picking it up a little bit. Like, let's look. They won 3 out of their last 5 games versus opponents that allow points. The only team, so out of these last 5 games, all of these opponents are in the bottom 10. Chicago's in the bottom 10, they won. Utah's in the bottom 10, they didn't win. New Orleans in the bottom 10, they won. Dallas isn't. And Milwaukee's in the bottom 10 in points allowed. They all won. They won 3 out of their last 4 games. Meaning they can compete with the Miami Heat, especially if they're banged up and they're in the bottom 10. So I like this. I took it for 25 points and on to the next game. We got the Clippers versus the Thunder. This might be my favorite pick. I didn't take this one because I made my slip last night, but after looking at it, I should have. They got Cam Christie, game time decision. Yannick, he's out because of his knee. Harden out. Whoa, I didn't even know that. Derrick Jones Jr. out. Bradley Beal, we know he's out. See, that kind of just changed my perspective on what I would have put. They got Jalen Williams out, Hartenstein out, Topic out, and Sorber out. So I looked at Shea for 30, right? He averages 30. You feel me? His line is at 30.5. I'm taking 30 points for minus 130. They think he's going to go under. He's 12-13 on the under. Bullshit. Want to know why? Because we don't look at the last. We don't look at it that way. We're looking for matchups, right? Bottom 10 team. Actually, Clippers are bottom 11, so they're 19th, I believe, right? They're 19th in points allowed out of 30. So I just calculated them as bottom 10. If we look at the other bottom 10 teams, Portland 0 for 1, Utah 1 for 2, Portland 2 for 3, Sacramento 3 for 4, New Orleans 3 for 5, Charlotte 4 for 6, and these other teams there. So that's a what 4 for 6 is if you count 66%. 66%, and this line is at -130. Um, I don't know what -130 is. I think that's like 57% or something like that. But I didn't just go based off these last 15. My research consisted of all head-to-head games, and he has a 29% edge on 30 balls. Like the Clippers. Now I didn't know Harden was going to be out, so I think that's going to be very challenging for the Clippers to stay in this game. They didn't say Kawhi was out. Maybe Kawhi can fight back, but this Clippers team, I mean, this OKC team is a whip, bro. This is crazy. So I will put this one on the back burner, but it's SGA 30 ball. He averages 30. He aims to get 30 or more every game. He likes to score over his average. I wouldn't doubt, this. And they just lost to the Spurs in the cup. Like they got some vengeance cooking up for sure. Last game, I'm looking at Rockets versus Pelicans. Tari Eason, game time decision. Finney Smith out for Van Fleet out, unfortunately. And the Pelicans only have DeJounte Murray out. That boy Jordan Poole is back. And I like this Kevin Durant play versus what a bottom 10 defense. They got him projected to go over. This is my most shaky one because sometimes Kevin Durant will go over and sometimes he'll have an off night and fucking what's his name? Sengun will go over. But I like this when he's 10 on the 11 on the season over this prop. But I got him at over 24.5. It's 25, about the same. And if we compare it to the bottom teams, he covers. So if we look at sack, that's 0 for 1. Utah 1 for 2. Utah 2 for 3. Portland 3 for 4. Washington 3 for 5. Milwaukee 4 for 6, which is also 66%. His line is at -115. I think that's a 54%. So there's an edge there. There's definitely an edge there. And the Pelicans, they're not no pushover team. Like the Rockets, they have elite defense, top 10 defense for sure. They're top 10 in points allowed versus opponents. Like they be locking shit up. But the Pelicans, they be scoring. They gonna stay in their fights. If we look at their last 5, they beat Chicago. They're on a 2-game win streak. They beat Chicago. They beat Portland. Right? They barely lost to the Spurs. They got whooped on by the Nets, and they lost by 9 to the Timberwolves. So like their record, I've been watching their games. Their record doesn't really reflect their team. Like they're starting to get the ball rolling. There's a lot of things they need to figure out, but they got Jordan Poole back, and since they got Jordan Poole back, they didn't win both of their games. So I think that this can be somewhat competitive, and that'll give Kevin Durant an opportunity to hit this line. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe so you get notified every time, or turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I post. And just keep in mind that these are recommended picks. Pick what you want, parlay it if you want to. I'm a straight better, so all of these are straight bets. But if you want to, take the points down and just use the same people, I don't see nothing wrong with that at all. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all boys tomorrow.